Welcome to the Memory Bank, where we take a closer look at the forgotten corners of the Star Wars universe. Today's feature is Luke Skywalker's Activity Book, a rare publication from the year 1979. Like the other activity books we have explored, this one is filled with puzzles, games, brain teasers, and more. But this time, we will be heading into Luke's garage for some hands-on fun with a distinctly Tatooine twist. So sit back, relax, and let us dive into a piece of Star Wars history you can draw on. Literally. It looks like we are kicking things off with a good old-fashioned crossword puzzle. Since working through these can take a bit of time, we will not be solving this one entirely on our own today. Instead, I will give viewers a chance to pause the video and try it out first, and then I will reveal the solution shortly after. So here we go, starting the 5-second timer. And time's up. Let's reveal the solution. Classic Star Wars references across the board, literally. Now that we've wrapped up the crossword, it's time to shift gears. Luke's got a long journey ahead across the blistering sands of Tatooine, and it looks like he could use our help navigating the desert. Let's take a look at the next challenge. According to the instructions, we will start at the land speeder and draw an unbroken path along the dashed lines until we reach home. We need to pass by every evaporator at least once, but we cannot cross our own path. Let's give it a go.
Oh, wait, Luke! It's too dangerous!
And just like that, Luke's made it home safe and sound. And now that he has, it looks like there's time for a quick treat. Up next, we're stepping into the kitchen for something a little different. Let's take a look at a very special recipe straight from the Skywalker household. We won't be baking these on video today, but the instructions are all right here if you'd like to give them a try at home. Feel free to pause the video now and take a closer look. Whether or not you decide to whip up a batch, that recipe definitely adds some flavor to this activity book. Now let's see what else Luke has in store for us on the next page. Buckle up. We're heading straight into aerial combat. In this next challenge, you're piloting an X-Wing in the middle of a fierce dogfight, and enemy TIE fighters are swarming all around you. The mission? Take them out with precision. But there's a twist. You'll be choosing your target, closing your eyes, and trying to hit it from memory. For every TIE fighter you hit, score 1 point, but be careful, if you accidentally take out one of your own X-Wings, you'll lose a point. A perfect score is 10. For obvious reasons, we won't be able to complete this one on video today. The only way to truly do it is to draw directly in the book, and I'm not about to mark up a vintage collectible. So let's just enjoy a brief moment of satisfaction and watch some X-Wings blow up a few TIE fighters. All right, that definitely scratched the itch. Now that the skies are clear, let's flip the page and see what challenge awaits us next in Luke Skywalker's activity book. Looks like we've got a pencil maze, and not just any maze. You'll be weaving your way through the winding shape of this towering creature. Start at one star and see if you can make it all the way to the other without getting lost. And here's something interesting. Does this creature look at all familiar? To some, it bears a striking resemblance to the Ronto, those long-necked beasts first seen in the special edition release of A New Hope back in 1997. But this book came out nearly 2 decades earlier. Makes you wonder, doesn't it? All right, now that we've had a closer look at our long-necked friend, let's see if we can find a path from one star to the other. Time to tackle the maze. Now that we've found our way through the Ronto maze, it's time to turn the page and put our minds to work in a whole new way. Get ready for Luke's Magic Square, where we'll be using clues to uncover words that fit into the boxes that go across. This will, in turn, form the same words going down. Let's see if we can solve this one with the same amount of effort we used in navigating that Ronto. The first clue is the first word in the title of the greatest space adventure movie ever. I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that this is likely going to be star. Then we have used on a car, but not on Luke's land speeder. I'm going with tire. Number 3 is a Middle East dweller who'd be at home on the deserts of Tatooine. I'm thinking this is Arab. And lastly, number 4's clue is a short slang term for the group that Luke Skywalker joined. This is undoubtedly Rebs. Puzzle complete. Each word lines up perfectly, across and down, just as the Force intended. With that brain teaser behind us, it's time to switch gears and add a splash of color to our journey. Up next, a page ready for your imagination to bring it to life. An exciting Star Wars scene will come to life as we use the color key to fill in each numbered area with its matching shade. But don't worry, we won't go one color at a time. With a little help from the Force and some video editing magic, we can reveal the full picture in an instant. You know, sometimes it's nice to see the final result without all the lines and numbers. There we go, just the scene itself, bold, bright, and straight out of a galaxy far, far away. A perfect splash of color and a scene that captures the heart of Star Wars in just one frame. But let's not linger too long. We've got more pages to explore. As we turn the page, it's time to head back to the twin suns of Tatooine for our next challenge. Here we have a word hunt, where we'll be searching for all the things Luke Skywalker would have seen on a typical day back home. Jawas, banthas, a lightsaber or two, and maybe even a sandcrawler rolling by in the distance. The words could be hiding in any direction, so we'll need sharp eyes, and maybe a bit of luck from the Force as we start scanning the puzzle. Let's go down the list in order, starting with Jawas, and working our way through each item exactly as it appears in the book. Now lightsaber, followed by land speeder and banthas, sandcrawler, vaporator, and lastly we have Tuskens. Now that our observational skills are sharp, it's time to test something even more important, reflexes. On the next page, we're stepping into Luke Skywalker's boots for a bit of lightsaber training. The challenge? Hit that remote-controlled practice ball with precision. Start from one of the dots on the lightsaber hilt and follow the path. If it strikes the ball, that's a hit. Score 1 point for each successful strike. A perfect run is 3 hits, no misses. But if you miss more than twice, well, maybe hold off on dueling Darth Vader just yet. All right, lightsaber at the ready. Let's see how we do and take our first swing. Nice, that training remote never saw it coming. Now let's take another swing. Once again, another perfect strike. Let's see if we can hit it a third time. And a miss. Let's give it another go. And another direct hit. Not bad at all. Looks like the Force is with us.
You see? You can do it.
3 for 3. With aim like that, maybe we are ready to face Vader someday. But before we start challenging Sith Lords, the next page offers a different kind of Force training. No lightsabers this time, just a bit of focus, and maybe a little mind trick or two. First up is something called Obi-Wan Lives. It's not a puzzle, and it's not a game. It's more like a test of faith. And your eyes. Let's give it a try and see if the old Jedi Master really is more powerful than we can possibly imagine. All we need to do is focus our eyes on the white dot at the center of Obi-Wan's image. Just keep staring without looking away. After about 50 seconds, we'll blink and shift our gaze to a blank wall. If everything goes according to plan, the Force might just reveal a familiar face watching over us. Rather than hold the image here for the full 50 seconds, we'll leave it on screen for 5, so anyone following along at home can pause and take as much time as they need. Here goes. Did you catch it? Let us know in the comments.
The Force will be with you. Always.
Now let's take a look at Luke's magic trick. This one's less Jedi training and more classic number sleight of hand, with just a touch of the Force. Here's how it works. We start by secretly writing down the number 7 on a piece of paper and setting it aside. Then we ask someone else to think of a number between 1 and 20 and write it down, without showing us, of course. After that, we walk them through a series of simple steps: add 8, subtract 3, then add 2. Finally, they subtract the number they originally chose. The result, like magic, they'll end up with 7, the number we predicted all along. It's a little mathematical misdirection, sure, but in the hands of a Jedi, even math feels like mind reading. And with that trick up our sleeve, it's time to move on to the next page. Let's shift gears and try our hand at decoding a secret message. The words are hidden behind a scrambled cipher, and we'll need a sharp mind and maybe some Corellian confidence to crack it. Now let's see if we can tap into our inner code breaker, because Han Solo has left us a message, but it's all scrambled. While flying aboard the Millennium Falcon, Luke asked Han if he believed in the Force. What follows is the beginning of Han's now famous response, only it's written in code. Each letter here actually stands for a different letter of the alphabet, and it's our job to crack the pattern and figure out what Han really said. There's no one perfect way to solve a cryptoquote. It's often trial and error. But there are a few tricks that can give us an edge. Single-letter words are usually either A or I. Repeated letters, like the double S in the word DSSO, are more likely to be something common like double E or double O. And spotting short familiar words like the is, to, or at can give us a foothold. To help us along, we've already been given 2 clues. V stands for X and H stands for Y. That should give us a small head start. Let's take a closer look at the puzzle and see if we can decode what Han Solo really said. Let's first start with our 2 given letters, X and Y. Then we can move through the rest. I will be revealing these in quick succession so as to save time. Here are the solutions for each letter. A becomes I, T becomes V, S becomes E, D becomes B, O becomes N, the letter N becomes the letter F, and let's complete decoding the rest. With that revealed, we can now see Han Solo's crypto quote, which is,
I've flown from one side of this galaxy to the other. I've seen a lot of strange stuff.
Looks like Han paraphrased himself just enough to throw us off. Swapping out stuff for things gives the quote a slightly different spin, but the meaning is still unmistakably Solo. Now that we've cracked the code, let's turn the page and get hands-on, because it's time to build our very own X-Wing fighter. This X-Wing fighter can be built using everyday household items like cardboard tubes, straws, and a cereal box or 2. Now, we won't be assembling it on camera, but we'll walk through the steps so anyone who wants to give it a try at home knows exactly what to do. We'll start with the wings. Cut 2 strips from the cereal box, each about 11 inches long and 2.5 inches wide. Then, on each strip, measure a 1/2 inch in from both sides and cut diagonally toward the center of the nearest edge to create that classic tapered wing shape. Next, cut both drinking straws in half. Fold each wing down the middle and tape 1/2 a straw to each tip, just like the X-Wing's laser cannons. Once that's done, set the wings aside. Now for the body, wrap the paper towel tube in aluminum foil, pressing the foil into the ends and taping it down to keep everything smooth and secure. Now let's get the motors ready. Wrap each of the 4 smaller tubes in aluminum foil, just like we did with the body. Press in the ends and tape them down so the foil stays snug. Next, at one end of the main body tube, cut 4 slits, 2 on each side. Each slit should be about 3.5 inches long and 3/4 of an inch apart. Carefully slide the folded wings into those slits and secure them in place by taping across the end of the tube. Here's a drawing showing the back view. With the wings now secured, it's time to move on to the final build details. Begin by making 2 slits at one end of each motor tube, each about 2.5 inches long. Next, slide a motor onto each wing, keeping them close to the body of the ship, just like in the illustration. And for the finishing touches, flatten the front of the body tube and tape it down to form the nose. Then tape a small piece of black paper right on top. That's your cockpit windshield. And there you have it, your very own X-Wing fighter, ready for battle in a galaxy not so far away. It may be made from cardboard and tape, but it definitely captures the spirit of the rebellion. Let's turn the page and slow things down a bit. Up next, we've got some light-hearted Star Wars doodles, playful sketches, with captions that offer a more humorous look at the galaxy we know and love. Nothing to solve here, just a few clever drawings worth a smile or two. Let's start with this one, a view of Tatooine and a prisoner as seen by a stormtrooper. Now here's a clever twist. 4 TIE fighters in close formation. This next one is good for a chuckle. Short Jawa in a tall robe. Jawa run over by a sandcrawler. Here's another fun take. 4 Jawas having lunch behind a hill. Things get even sillier with this one. Mosquito attacking Death Star. And we'll wrap up the doodles with this final gem. 2 cowards fighting lightsaber duel. A fine way to end the doodles, 2 cowards locked in an epic duel of hesitation. And with that, we turn the page to find another Star Wars crossword puzzle waiting for us. We won't be solving this one together on screen, but as always, we'll give you a few moments to take a look before revealing the solution. And here's how it all fits together. Now that we've crossed all the words off our list, it's time to turn the page and squint. Luke's in the market for a new droid, but the Jawas seem to have vanished. Hidden in this picture are 3 of them. Or are there 4? The instructions say 3, but depending on how closely you look, there might be a little more going on here. There is no solution available for this one, so we are going to take a look together. One Jawa is easy to spot, upside down and facing forward in the upper left. Another is turned sideways, peeking out from the background. The third one, though, raises a few questions. There's a figure standing and facing forward in full robes. Just below that, there's another figure cloaked and facing down. Both have hands in the right place. One has a clear Jawa belt on, while the other is standing in such a way that the cloak would be covering a belt if it exists. This leaves me scratching my head a bit. On one hand, I find it hard to believe the author would expect us to find a Jawa who isn't even facing forward. That feels like a bit of a cheat. On the other hand, it's just as hard to believe that the figure facing down would have a Jawa's bandolier if it were simply a rock. Either way, here are both possibilities. I'll let you decide this one on your own. Wherever that third Jawa may be hiding, we're moving on to something a little more dangerous than desert scavengers. It's time to jump into the cockpit with Luke Skywalker and take aim at the Death Star itself. This is a good old-fashioned pencil maze, and we're about to make our run on the Death Star. The clock is ticking. The station has cleared the planet. No time to waste. Let's give it a go. And there it is. Direct hit. The Death Star is destroyed, and the galaxy is safe, at least for now. Let's turn the page and see what challenge awaits us next in this galactic adventure. Well now, this looks like a puzzle with a twist. 7 blanks, 7 clues, and a mystery name to uncover. Let's piece it together. A planet destroyed by the Death Star. That would likely be A for Alderaan. First name of Lord Vader. That would be H for the ending of Darth. Ben Kenobi's name is a Jedi Knight. How about O for Obi-Wan? Machine used by Jawas. That would be S for Sandcrawler. Tatooine Desert Raider. That would be the N in Tusken. Then we have a Jedi Knight's weapon. How about L for lightsaber? And finally we have Luke's uncle, That would be O for Owen. Now let's take these letters and descramble them to form the name of Luke's friend. As we can now see, that is none other than Han Solo. And speaking of hidden names and secret messages, our next page takes things a step further. This time we're cracking a full sentence written in code. Let's take a look. The rebels have created a secret code, and now it's your turn to crack it. You can even use this one with your friends to pass along secret messages of your own. But first, let's see if we can decode this one. It's something very important the rebels have discovered about Darth Vader. All we have to do is match each symbol to its letter and fill in the blanks. Let's save a bit of time and run this code through the central computer. And there you have it. Darth Vader goes to sleep with a teddy bear. I'm not entirely sure how critical that is to the rebellion, but hey, intel is intel. Turning the page, we find something a bit more familiar. A classic connect-the-dots puzzle. Let's see what picture is hiding in plain sight. There it is, Luke cruising across the sands of Tatooine in his trusty landspeeder. Hopefully, you connected the dots better than the Empire connected their defenses. Now let's turn the page and shift gears. Up next, it's time to get crafty. This activity shows you how to make your very own Star Wars buttons with just a few supplies and a little creativity. Let's check it out. If you're looking for a quick and fun craft, this one's right up your alley. All you need is a piece of see-through paper, some lightweight cardboard, like the side of a cereal box, and a bit of tape. Start by tracing the circles and lettering shown on the page, then paste your tracings onto the cardboard and let them dry. Once they're set, cut them out and you've got yourself a button. To wear it, just make a small loop of tape, sticky side out, and press it onto the back. It'll hold for a few wearings, and when it loses its grip, just swap in some fresh tape. And if you want to make it your own, skip the lettering and paste in a picture of your favorite Star Wars character instead. A little creativity goes a long way. And that brings us to our final activity, a good, old-fashioned Star Wars crossword puzzle to close things out. Whether you solve it yourself or follow along, it's a fun reminder of how this galaxy far, far away manages to make its way into every corner of pop culture, even our puzzle books. Let's attempt to solve this one. We'll go in the order they're presented in the book. That wraps up this journey through the Luke Skywalker Activity Book. From secret codes and X-Wings to dot-to-dots and doodles, it's been a playful look back at the creative spark this saga has always inspired. If you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing to the channel for more one-of-a-kind deep dives into the far reaches of the Star Wars universe. Thanks for coming along on this historical journey. And until next time, may the Force be with you.